Salutations! I'm Rene von Bonaparte, and this is my first video blog. I decided that I would like to share what I know about etiquette with people, so for my first video, since, well, we're just meeting, I thought a lesson on introductions would be great. So, here we are, enjoy! So the first thing you have to consider when introducing somebody is when is it the proper time to introduce two people. You can decide that if you are the host of an event or the common link between people that do not know each other. That can be any small group, people that are at a dinner party or at your house, partners at dinner such as business partners, and of course people that are just at the same table, such as if you're playing cards with somebody or at a book meeting, those kinds of things. Now, usually when you are introducing somebody, the word introduced is already understood. So you can choose another word such as I present. Also, omitting that altogether is perfectly okay, provided that you use proper diction depending on who you're introducing. For example, you can say, Mrs. A, may I present Mr. B? Or you can say, Mr. B, may I present Mr. Young? And with diction, it would be Mrs. A, Mr. B. You always rise the inflection on the person who is being introduced. Right, so this is always important. A younger person is always introduced to the older or more distinguished individual. However, a man is always introduced to a lady, even if the man is older or of greater distinction and the woman is just like a young woman, like a little girl, you know. The woman should never be presented to the man, ever. There are, however, a few exceptions to that rule, and that, of course, is royalty being introduced to the President of the United States or any other higher official of countries, and, of course, the Pope. Now, when two men greet, they shake hands with one another. When a man and a woman greet, she may put out her hand to him, or however they want to put out their hand. However, it is not required. A smile and an incline of the head and how do you do is good enough for the woman. Now, if the gentleman offers his hand, she is also not required to take it, of course. A woman should probably never refuse to shake any distinguished hand. Also, for gentlemen, when a woman offers her hand, despite what the movies on our TV show, don't kiss it unless you're preparing to court her or express some other kind of interest in her. If a person has a professional title, such as a priest, you would introduce them using the title, such as Father Michaels or Dr. Pepper, if they're a doctor, of course. When you're greeting somebody, or greeting someone or introducing somebody, you never use the term my friend, or just my in general. So when you're introducing a member of your family, of course, you can use my brother, my sister, my daughter, my father. All of those are in perfectly good form. However, if you use my friend, such as in the introduction, Mrs. A, please meet my friend, Mr. B, you're implying that the person that you're introducing to is a stranger. And whether they are or not, that's considered very rude. So make sure not to do that. Also, when you are introducing somebody, don't repeat names. As in, Mrs. A, Mr. B, Mr. B, Mrs. A. Saying their names once is quite enough. Also, never ask for somebody's name. Just don't go up to somebody and say, what's your name? Or, I don't remember what your name is. Now, if you want to find out who the person's name is, find anybody else in the room, and point out a very pleasant and distinguishing feature about the person that you are inquiring about, such as, so who is the man in the dashing blue sweater vest? Not only will you find out their name, but if the person that you inquired just so happens to go behind your back and mention to Mr. Sweater Vest that you didn't remember their name, so you inquired about their pleasant sense of fashion, it will also leave a good taste in their mouth. When you're introducing and one person is sitting and the other person is standing, the person who is sitting should rise, unless they are elderly or otherwise incapable of doing so, of course. Did you know that the custom of men tipping their hats to one another dates back to the medieval period? The knights, while they were riding upon their horse, would pass one another and raise their helmets. That way they could determine if the person they are walking past was a friend or a foe. If it happened to be a foe under the helmet, they might have been forced to do combat right on the spot. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm sure you could tell I was like really nervous my first time. Anyway, if you would like to learn more about etiquette or all things high society, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you later. Fair winds!